Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing?
Good.
All right. My name is Wesley Hammonds,
I'm Abigail Smuda.
I'm Beverly Thomas.
And I'm Deja McGilly.
and today our topic is risk management, a global economic perspective in Israel.
So we're pretty sure you're wondering why we chose Israel. Well, we understand that Israel has conflict, but the United Nations has declared unoccupied territories, which will make our product perfect for marketing in this country.
What is risk? Risk is defined as a chance of losing something that may have value, like money, time, or opportunity costs. Risk can also be a probability or threat of a liability or a loss or other negative outcomes that are caused by internal vulnerabilities that may be able to be avoided.
So throughout our presentation, these risks will be highlighted, and we will apply these risks in appliance to why our company should be launched in Israel.
All right, so we've defined what risk is, but what exactly is societal risk? Societal risk is defined as the presence of something from a social view with potential for enhanced risk. So, in Israel, corruption is a huge issue as far as societal risk goes. Prime Minister Ehud Olmert was recently sentenced to 18 months in prison for accepting a commercial real estate deal, which is a felony, but he only got a year and a half. So that says something about the government within there as well. The former mayor, Shlomo Lahini, also served an 8-month term for accepting large amounts of money, which is bribery, another felony. But he was released with good behavior for 4 months. As far as gender and income inequality, they have an equal gender ratio of 1.01, just about 0.01 off. However, the equality ends there as far as Israel goes. As far as female representation in the workforce, females only make 70% of what all males make as far as yearly salaries.
Okay, to move on to environmental risk, there are 3 major risks in Israel. The first one is being water risk. There's water deficiency crisis in Israel currently. So with that being said, it'll be hard to start companies such as like manufacturing, construction, because you need water for these activities, as well as everyday lives for drinking water purposes. Also, another big issue is earthquake. There have been 2 earthquakes in Israel in 2016 alone. There's a possibility for a company that their infrastructure may collapse or other losses of products may occur. The third one is pollution. The OECD recommends that Israel reduce its carbon dioxide levels by at least 30%, and that can weigh on a company's choice of moving into Israel.
All right, so economic risk. It takes 81 days, which is 60 days longer than the average of the OECD, to register a property. So, with this, it affects the company's ability to produce before other companies due to extended procedures with registering your properties. As far as taxation, Israel has triple the taxation payments, which can cause an increase in wages paid to the employees for processing. Israel companies pay their staff close to 60% more than other OECD countries just to comply with tax procedures. So with this, that money could be allocated to several other things. Maybe it could be economic development, government improvement proposals, anything of that sort could be allocated instead of having such an extensive taxation process. In addition, trading costs across borders, there are high import and export costs in Israel. And with this, it doesn't attract foreign investments. If there's high import and export costs, a foreign country would not be interested in doing business in Israel. In addition, it also makes trading across borders a whole lot harder when you have such high import and export costs.
And then on to geopolitical risk, there's 3 risk factors on there. The first one is security threat. A lot of times when companies think about starting a business in Israel, their first concern is, are they able to manage their business in an economy that has the potential to have like terrorist attacks from inside and outside of its borders? If you're aware of everything that's happening in Israel, and you know that there's an Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and that's been going on for some time now, and Israel is also a country that is completely surrounded by enemy states, so that's something that investors think about. Also, the threat of rocket attacks from the Gaza Strip and Syria is part of the geopolitical risk factors. Illicit drugs is another concern. In Israel, there was an article published that stated that it was becoming the drug capital of the world because of cocaine being transferred through Israel within the Middle East. And then also there was a concern about the drug that citizens in Israel were using this drug more and more progressively, and basically it's like a psychosis drug that slows down productivity. And then also energy. Israel is very dependent on crude oil from Egypt, but they also have conflict with a region in Egypt called the Sunnis.
On to technological risk. Israel is a technological hub, therefore making this a very attractive economy for businesses to start their business. So, one large danger that they face are viruses and hackers, which falls under the technology category, and another one that they face are cyber attacks. It really affects the market simply because they have an increased usage of internet users, making it extremely attractive to people, for hackers or hacktivists to hack into different businesses. One thing that, we'll talk about that in the recommendations.
So we ran a regression model to try to give us insight into the complexity of managing risk. This just gives you the significant values or whether or not the data was significant, and S is not significant, and then the one with values tells you the significance of the data. And then we'll talk about the data on the next slide. So the first one up is economic, and the variable that was found significant was income inequality, and basically it was found significant to GDP. So when there's income inequality in Israel, it somehow affects the GDP correlation.
The next is environmental. The regression for the environmental shows that carbon dioxide emissions influx is due to the increased development and manufacturing plants built in Israel. This is very concerning because it shows that economic development increases the CO2 and the depletion levels. To counteract this, Israel may want to attract more businesses with lower emission level, CO2 emission levels, and depletes fewer natural resources.
And then for societal, the variable that was found to have significance was the Kirkland Perception Index. And simply we found that when the value was higher, which means less significant, that also had a correlation to GDP. Businesses want to know whether or not they have to pay business officials to get business done in the country.
The next one is technology. We observed that the greater internet users drives productivity and creates a new wave of revenue for businesses. Also, internet users shop online frequently, which will be very helpful for any company that wants to start in Israel.
And then for geopolitical, the two variables that were found significant was the net migration rate and also the inbound of tourists. For the net migration rate, that simply means you have more people leaving the country than entering, and that gives, there's an influx of money going into the economy, so we found that to have a significance to GDP. And then for the inbound tourist rate, so Israel, even though the UK and the United States does have like a travel warrant going out against Israel, tourists are still going there, and that also brings an influx into the economy, so we also found that to have a significance to GDP.
Alright, so we talked about the risks and the problems. So what are the recommendations? For societal risks, as I mentioned, corruption is a huge issue within Israel. So one of the suggestions are to set up an anonymous website to report any corruption-related activity. And this is because a lot of citizens have fear of any type of bad things happening to them if they report something. In addition, severely punish any government official convicted of corruption to set the example. So as I stated, a lot of these government officials get off with early sentences, or they get sentences that aren't really adequate to the crime that they have. So severely punishing them will set an example that any type of illegal activity is not going to take place. As far as economic risk, reduce the number of payments, therefore not paying staff for extra hours. And I kind of touched on this earlier because that money can be allocated to several other things to improve the country as well.
And to move on to the environmental, as far as earthquakes, they have been building codes in place since 1980, which will help incoming companies and infrastructure. As well, Israel has a disaster relief plan in place to help organizations, the community, and such. As far as water deficiency goes, desalination of the water supply is currently used, which ultimately removes salt, minerals, and other chemicals from the water supply. And also treatment plants, which treats which is the renewal and reuse of sewage.
And then for the geopolitical risk, security threat, military spending, and peace treaties. So currently Israel spends a majority of its GDP on military spending, and every country has the right to do that. So that's what they're currently doing, and I think that that's something that they should do since they're surrounded by enemy states. They should be prepared to protect their borders. And then also peace treaties. They've signed several peace treaties with the Palestinians, and they've also signed peace treaties with Lebanon and Syria. So that's something that's good. And then for illicit drugs, they have the Israel Anti-Drug Authority, and that's something that's helping them deal with the smuggling of drugs coming into Israel, and then also the cat problem.
Lastly, we have technological risks, and we suggest re-implementing the National Cyber Strategy to help hackers and hacktivists for businesses in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.